And welcome to the last tackle on the Sportsman. We've got Andrew Henderson, we've got Adrian Morley in the studio. We're going to talk about a huge weekend in the Betfred Super League. But before we do, we've got a very special announcement. It's the playoff season on the Sportsman.
So here we go, 80 minutes, live and exclusive here on the Sportsman. Bringer comes flying in on Walmsley.
Here come York, flick pass, and the Rover! What drama, what a finish.
The last, they've got the mismatch, Roberts is going to go himself. Jack Roberts has his second of the game.
Flick pass to Collins, Butler will score.
He does pass to Walmsley. Walmsley looking for the finish, and he's over in the corner. Ferreira could
he's got it, he's got his fourth.
That down. They've got in. Instant impact.
Free, he's still going. He's going to score. Wow.
Yes, live games we are showing. So 3 competitions, 6 games between now and the 20th of October. And your next one's a cracker. Wakefield obviously having a brilliant season. Versus York Knights have been really good of late as well. We've got League One semi-final, we've got wheelchair semi-finals, a League One playoff, the Championship promotion final, the Championship grand final as well. What a few weeks on the Sportsman. And this is quite apt, so we're showing Wakefield versus York Knights on Sunday. The head of rugby at York is alongside me. And, well, things have turned a corner at York of late, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Look, Mark Applegarth and the coaching team have done a tremendous job in recent weeks. You know, obviously boosted by the return of some key personnel, which has helped. Still suffered a couple of injuries along the way, but managed to keep the core of the side together and get some continuity. But doing a really, really good job at the moment. It's been a pretty tough running for the boys. You know, got some big fixtures that they've had to contend with, and a couple more big fixtures coming up, more notably this Sunday against Wakefield away at their place. So. But listen, you know, for me, destiny is in our own hands now. We have a real opportunity to secure a playoff position and have a real genuine crack come the business end of the season. 3
regular games left in the Championship. This is a good test for York against, let's be honest, a very, very good Wakefield side.
Absolutely, absolutely. And look, the thing for us is we can only control what we can control, and that's going out there delivering good levels of performances, which hopefully will earn results. And so far, so good. Like I said, we've got Wakefield this Sunday, then we've got a backup of a 5-day turnaround against Sheffield away, and then we finish off with Featherstone at home. So it's a real interesting finish, especially with Sheffield and Featherstone in the mixer with us as well. So, but like I said, we can't look too far ahead. We focus on just getting a good performance this week away at Wakefield, and hopefully we can earn the 2 points, which will just give us another step forward towards securing that playoff place. And if not, we dust ourselves down and we focus on getting a good, strong performance against Sheffield on the Friday night.
Moz, obviously we probably could do a whole show on this, because ultimately we need a strong Championship. We want to see a good League One as well, don't we?
Yeah,
we need that pyramid to be strong.
Yeah, we definitely do. You don't want to see teams getting promoted into Super League and then just yo-yo and coming straight down again. So I think it's fantastic. I'll mention Wakefield. I think they've done a fantastic job this year, secured the league leaders, and they've got a new stadium there as well. So, you know, they are favourites to come up. And if they do come up, I dare say they'll be very, very competitive in the Super League. And you're right, we want to get rid of yo-yoing, and I still would keep relegation. You know, I still would keep promotion.
That's another show, Moz.
That's just my personal view. Yep. But you know, on the licensing system and the on merit, I think Wakefield are in a fantastic position at the moment.
Look, we're going to have to watch this space, what happens in the future, aren't we? But certainly what we do know over the next few weeks, we've got those games live in the Sportsman. We're really looking forward to the wheelchair semi-finals as well. They should be absolute crackers. What we do know, we're going to have a brilliant end to the Betfred Super League. And what a weekend we've just had. We've got to start talking about one game. Well, Hull KR were 10-0 up after half an hour.
They were, in my opinion, this was the best game of the year. It was absolutely fantastic. Very fitting that it was 1 against 2, and it lived up to all expectations. It was a fantastic game. I thought Hull KR were the better side for very large periods of that game. A little bit of controversy with the 2 sin binnings, what Hull KR had. That's when Wigan scored 2 tries in each 10-minute spell. But fantastic game. Even though they did get beat, Hull KR, I do feel they can take a lot out of that defeat. And Willie Peters was interesting what he said after the game. He said, Wigan will have known they've been in a game and that they'll be looking over the shoulders at us. So fantastic game. They're still not out of the running for the league leaders, Hull KR. They'll want to fight for that, but Wigan are in the box seat now, and it's down to them to lose it rather than Hull KR to win it.
How did you see it? I thought it was a brilliant
game.
Yeah,
very similar to Moz there. I thought Hull Kingston Rovers looked in control. When they had 13 on the field, I thought they looked in control of that performance in that game. And it was just a shame that they went down to 12 men. But again, I think the nature of this season, we've seen on numerous occasions teams being reduced to 12 men. And it now, for me, is becoming a facet of the game where you have to manage that period. And unfortunately for Hull KR, they did not manage the 2 spells when they were down reduced to 12 men well enough, and obviously Wigan, as we know, they're a champion team. They will not go away. Managed to capitalise and take the numerical advantage.
It's starting getting a bit chilly. It's raining. It's when Wigan start playing, isn't it?
Yeah, but look, they've still had a solid season all year, mate. You can't say they haven't played well this year, and they've had to deal with a few things as well, missing some key personnel at key times. But again, I always say it that as long as you're in the mixer and you're thereabouts. You've got to be playing your best rugby league at this time of the season coming into the business end. And I think Wigan showed some really encouraging signs in that game. I'm sure Matt Peat won't be overly happy with the full performance because I do feel that the Hull Kingston Rovers were in control for large parts of that game. But what he will be pleased with was the way that they just took advantage when they had it.
Wigan obviously have Leeds at home this week, then Salford at home the week after, Hull KR at Lee. Lee are playing really well at the moment, and then the following week Hull KR at home to Leeds. I think the League Leaders Shield is going to Wigan now after that. It should go to Wigan, but Hull KR have got a great chance of getting that second spot and that all-important home tie.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you, Mark. I think it's in Wigan's hands now. They're in the prime position or pole position, so to speak, to secure that League Leaders Shield, which again is another tremendous accolade for the club if it does happen. Hull Kingston Rovers, I think, like you said, will be vying for a home playoff final because, again, the crowd and the atmosphere, I mean, they're well supported. It's a real cauldron of intensity there at Hull Kingston Rovers, so they'll be really hoping to secure that second place.
Because you've been in these playoffs, the home advantage can be massive, can't it?
Oh, massive. And we've spoke before about finishing in first or second spot. You've got such an incredible advantage to make the grand final and ultimately win it. So fantastic for Hull KR to be in the position they are. It's great that another team are in the mix. And I agree with you guys. I think Wigan will win the league leaders, but I think Hull KR will get second spot. And and all the positives that go with finishing first or second. I think they deserve it. And I think it's going to be it's been a fantastic season so far. But I think the next 2 weeks are going to be very, very exciting to say the least.
There's so many permutations, isn't there? But there was 2 massive results on Saturday, which should have a huge impact on the playoffs. Warrington beating St Helens 16-2, and then Salford, who had dropped out of the playoffs because of the other results, then beating Catalans 27-12, and the Catalans now have dropped to 8th. Not out of it, of course, with 2 games to go.
Yeah, no, it's what an end of the season it is. There's so many twists and turns I feel are still to come, and there's so many permutations to how this top 6 can look. You've got St Helens, Leeds, Salford. You've got now obviously Catalans all still genuinely in the mixer, and the Lee Leopards as well. So there's a clutch of teams there that could still easily drop out in the next 2 weeks, or could easily secure their place in the playoffs. So exciting times ahead.
I was on with you about 6 weeks ago when I said, I think the top 6 will change, possibly Leeds might get in it, and that's when Lee were 8th, and you actually went, no, hang on, Lee have got a lot of players injured.
Correct.
And since they've come back, Lee have been fantastic.
Oh, they have. I think they've won 11 out of the last 12 games. So they're a team you should be fearing at the moment because they're in really good form. Lachlan Lamb leads the competition with try assists as well with 24, so he's in great form. But I said it, I called it. They were missing so many of their key personnel at that moment in time. They've got the cavalry back, so to speak, and that's really transformed them season. They've built some really good continuity, consistency in performance, and they're in great form at the moment.
And Lee, another good win win at the weekend away at Castleford. Right then, so Wigan are top with 2 games to go. Hull KR are second with 2 games to go. Then you've got Warrington third. Salford now are in 4th. Leeds 5th. St Helens in 6th position. Then you've got Leeds in 7th. Level on points with St Helens. And then Catalans in 8th. So, which of the 2 to miss out?
That's a tough one. Gee.
You just wonder whether the Catalans have lost momentum, don't you?
Well, if you're looking at the fixtures ahead, on paper, Catalan have probably got the 2 most winnable games.
Yes.
But the issue they have at the moment is they're not in the greatest vein of form.
Home to London and then away to Hull.
That's correct. But if you look at their recent form, they've won 1 out of the last 6 games. They're conceding, I think, about 23, 24 points a game on average in those last 6 games, and they're only scoring on average 12 points a game. So they're not scoring many points, they're conceding too many, and they've only recorded 1 win out of the last 6. So their form is not suggesting that they're playoff contenders. However, they have got 2 of the most winnable games. You know, on the flip side, like I said, there's some permutations that can come out. I think Leeds have got 2 tough fixtures, haven't they?
Yeah,
they've got Wigan and Hull KR their last 2 games. So you, again, probably thinking likelihood is they're going to miss out. Saints, they've got Castleford, which they've been beaten by Cass before. you know,
home game against Cass.
They lost at home to Cass. They lost at home to
topsy-turvy
Cass.
season for them, but
Yeah.
you'd expect to.
You expect them to, but their form's been indifferent, hasn't it? But they are starting to get a few bodies back too. Like Wellesby come off the bench on the weekend, so they're getting a few back, which are going to certainly bolster them at the right time. But it's so tough. Even Salford's fixture and Lee as well. They've all got tough games. I honestly can't call it. I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to say obviously Lee will be in there. Salford and Catalans.
Ooh. I was just going to ask Moz about Salford. Salford, obviously away to Hull.
Yeah.
You expect them to win that?
You would.
And then away at Wigan the last game.
Yeah, well, you don't want to be going to Wigan needing points.
Although
we all know
Salford's record's not that bad.
It's not bad, and a couple of years ago they had a famous victory over there, didn't they? But I think Salford have done enough, particularly if they get the win this weekend. I think they've had a fantastic year, punched above their weight again. And I just think that the way they're positioning, even though the playoffs are not for a couple of weeks, Leeds and Catalans, that they're in must-win situations now, aren't they? To make
Leeds
the
are at Wigan.
Yeah, and then OKR, so you'd say that.
So you think your old club Leeds going to miss out?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
With Catalan?
Yeah, but I think Catalans, even though they'll probably win the last 2 games, I just think the teams above them will get some joy as well. So
with Catalan's fixtures, it's really putting the pressure on St Helens.
I was just going to say, St Helens 2 points above Catalan at the moment, Mark?
Yes, they are.
So they are. So they're in the
sixth.
Yeah, so it's probably likely going to be Saints in that 6th spot with Salford.
Saints have got Castleford at home, and then Saints are away at Lee. You wouldn't go to Lee at the moment, now, would you?
No.
Mate, it's this game for Saints. If Saints beat Cass on the weekend here, then they're in the 6th, and unfortunately I think Catalan then miss out, because I think Lee will do enough to stay in there, and I think Salford will do enough to stay in there. It's so close. It's exciting. It's great.
Brilliant.
Loving it.
How we are discussing this. It's a massive 2 weeks, and then we've got the playoffs as well, so it's going to be a brilliant end of season. And then after the grand final, we've got a couple of internationals to look forward to. Watch this.
Photo shoot for the New England kit. What's your first thoughts on the new colours?
Yeah, it's really nice, mate. Hopefully I get to put it on at the end of this year, but like I say, first thoughts, colours are really nice, and yeah, it should go well.
I love it. I think it's really good. You know, it's predominantly white, which I think for me it's that wall of white that is England, and then obviously the red and the blue on it. I think it's really, really nice, and the navy shorts as well. Big fan of those. So yeah, excited. Fingers crossed. Hopefully get to wear it at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? It's very nice. I really like it. Well, every opportunity you get to sort of wear the badge and represent your country and represent all the people before it and all the present and future. So it's very, very nice to be able to do it, and a very humbling experience and something that I cherish and very look forward to these days. So yeah, it's very nice and very, very blessed to be able to don the kit for the first time.
Yeah, obviously you always want to be involved at the end of the season when it comes to the internationals, and on the back of a good Tonga series last year, getting a 3-0 win was great for us as a squad. So moving forward, obviously, I'd love to be involved again and carry on from where we left off and try and do a similar job on Samoa at the end of the year.
Look, the more fixtures for England for me, the better. Such a proud moment, getting the opportunity to play for your country, but also, for us in terms of building a brand as Team England for the women's game and getting fans behind us. I think it's a great opportunity to play more fixtures domestically so that the fans can come and get behind us, because I think one of the advantages in the women's game is there's loads of fans that just love women's rugby league, so they'll have favourites on each different team, Saints, York, Leeds, Wigan, and then they can come and watch England and watch the best players come together and support everyone. So yeah, England's a great chance to do that.
Yeah, it's really exciting, mate. Obviously, think back to the World Cup 2 years ago. We got beat against them in the semi-final, so it'll be good to get another crack against them at the end of the year, and hopefully be a good series and we can get a win.
Yeah, so Betfred are the official partner of the men's team, the women's team and the wheelchair team as well. And don't forget, we're showing those wheelchair semi-finals here on the Sportsman. Hit subscribe now and get all the notifications. Right, we'll talk about round 26 of the Betfred Super League in a moment. Just want to touch on the international game. Moz, I know you were so proud to put on the England shirt and the Great Britain shirt as well. I think for once we've sat here and spoke about international rugby so much that we know there's now this international calendar, because we need to grow international game, don't we?
Without a doubt. I mean, it should be the pinnacle of any players.
It was for you, wasn't it?
Without a doubt, representing my country, whether that be England or Great Britain, was the proudest thing I've ever done. It's very, very special. It's really hard to describe, actually, when you're lining up with 17 of the best players from your country and you sing the national anthem and all the hairs on your neck stand up. It's absolutely incredible, and very proud to have done it for a long time and many times. But these young lads, they need a pathway, and they should be their goal to represent the country. And it's great that we've got this the International Rugby League that's planning these international events. It's great that England have had an involvement the last couple of years. There's still talk of going down under, and that's the ultimate for a player to play the Aussies in Australia. But fantastic, Samoa coming over. We've had Samoa and Tonga, very, very strong nations now. They're not.
It was good last year. I enjoyed it.
Brilliant.
It
was fantastic, and it was a genuine test series, and that's what you want. You don't. With all due respect to France, when England go out against France or Great Britain, you can say they're going to win. It's just a case of by how many. You can't say that against Samoa and Tonga. So it's going to be very, very competitive. Samoa obviously beat England in the semi-finals of the World Cup a couple of years ago, so there might be a bit of feeling there. Yeah, but I'm really excited. Can't wait for this test series.
And Hendo, a proper international calendar where we all know we are. It's only going to help. It's only going to help the Betfred Super League as well, isn't it? Because, your likes of your Mikey Lewis's, Wilson, something to look forward to.
Well, there's that, and also the exposure that the international game can bring if we get it right. That's the key. If we've got regular fixtures, competitive fixtures that are obviously getting televised and media exposure throughout the world, then it's only going to help the sport grow, isn't it? So, yeah, look, but I think what you said there, Mark, they need to be meaningful tests. They need to be consistently in the calendar. So, again, it helps obviously us to plan, but it helps us to be able to genuinely grow the game. So I'm very much looking forward to this test series for England against Samoa. I think Moz touched on it there, where obviously England lost them in the semi-final. I think it's going to create a bit of spice. It's going to create a bit of spice for sure. And I think it's going to be an incredible series.
Right then. If you want to grow the game, watch the next couple of weekends. And that's even before we get to the playoffs as well. Knockout rugby. We've got some huge games. Let's go through all 6 games. Right then. Starting with the biggest game, just because what's on the line, getting in the playoffs and the League Leaders' Shield. Wigan versus Leeds.
Yeah, well, Leeds need to win. It's as simple as that. This is a do-or-die game for Leeds. Wigan, they've got one hand on the League Leaders, as you say, and they'll be hoping to cement that. So the fact that it's at Wigan, I do think Wigan are going to go all out for this one, but it's just going to be playoff intensity in it, a couple of weeks before the playoffs. So really, this is a marquee fixture anyway. Leeds against Wigan, historically is a fantastic fixture, and it's going to be amazing on Friday. But I'm going to go for a Wigan win.
You get the impression as well, Matty Pete wants to win the League Leaders' Shield. They certainly celebrated it last year. They see the League Leaders' Shield as a proper trophy.
Absolutely. Well, they want to win everything. I think every team in the Super League competition will set out to win as much silverware as they can, and if you have an opportunity to win either one of the three or all three, you're going after it. So, yeah, 100%. I think, like you said, that game last week against Kingston Rovers was a real, for me, a real pivotal game for both teams for obvious reasons. I think it's now given Wigan the ascendancy now to go and take that League Leaders' Shield, and they'll be very, very determined this week at home to get that job done. Yeah, I think it's a really exciting contest. I'm really looking forward to the fullback battle between Jai Field and Lockie Miller. You know, both prevalent in both their teams there, and obviously the top try scorer Liam Marshall. I think if he scores again on the weekend, he gets 150 tries to his name there, which is a pretty good achievement. The only concern for me at the moment with Wigan is the penalties. They actually top the penalty count throughout the whole competition. So there's an area there of discipline that needs to be tidied up coming into the playoffs for me. But other than that, I think they're a strong team. Leeds will be again desperate, as they're fighting to get into that top six.
It's playoff rugby for Leeds, isn't it?
So effectively it is. It's an opportunity there now for Wigan to go and win that trophy, but it's also an opportunity for Leeds to go and get themselves into the top six.
Prediction?
Wigan.
Right, you're both going for Wigan. Right, also on Friday night, this is a cracker, especially the way both teams are playing. Lee versus Hull KR.
Yeah, two of the form teams of Super League. We mentioned Lee won 8 out of 10, and Hull KR very similar. So again, this is going to be playoff intensity. Depending on how the results go, if Wigan do slip up against Leeds, Hull KR will think we can get our hands on that League Leaders' Shield. So they're going to not worry about that, but they're just going to worry about getting the victory on Friday. But it's really, really tough game to call, really. But I think, even though Hull KR did suffer a defeat last week, I just think they're going fantastically well. I just think confidence is really high. I think they will pip Lee. I think it'll be a really, really close game. But I think Hull KR have got the advantage over Lee.
And as you mentioned early on, Adrian Lamb has done a brilliant job of late.
Yeah, he has. I mean, the team is in great form. I think they've won 11 out of the last 12 at the moment. Again, there's some exciting matchups in this contest. You've got Lachlan Lamb, who leads the try assists in the competition with 24, up against Mikey Lewis, who's third in try assists and third in the try scoring tally as well. So, both halfbacks have got the creativity and the guile to create opportunities for their teammates. But obviously, Mikey Lewis has got that potency as well to score points and take opportunities when they present. So I'm really looking forward to that. Both teams will be dangerous and lively around the ruck. They both like to get out of dummy half. You've got the two hookers at Kingston Rovers in Matt Parcell and Jez Litton, who really like to cause problems around there. And equally on the flip side, Edwin Apape and Brad Dwyer around the ruck as well will cause problems. So there's going to be a real battle in the hooking roles this week, I think, around the middle of the field. But again, I'm like Moz, it's a real tough one to call. You're probably leaning towards Hull KR. They're the best defensive team in the competition. They're going to be desperate, as we spoke about before, to secure that top 2 place or even have a sneaky chance of grabbing the league leaders. But I think the form that Lee are in, and they're at home, I think they want to continue that upward trend. I'm tipping Lee. I'm backing Lee this week.
Also on Friday night, St Helens, Castleford.
Yeah, again, this is must win for St Helens. They're hanging in the top 6 by their fingernails, aren't they? So it's a game that they on paper they should be winning, but they've been very, very indifferent. They're getting a few healthy bodies back, so I think Saints are going to win, and whether that can give them confidence going into the playoffs, who knows? But I think they will get the win, and I think if they do get the win on Friday, I think that will cement their top 6 spot. So it's a really, really big game for the Saints.
Right, let's move to Saturday. Hull versus your old club, Salford.
Yeah, again, Salford, I went watching them last week and I thought it was a fantastic victory against Catalans. But Salford have been great against the teams where they probably aren't as fancied, and for the teams where they are expected to win, they have slipped up a few times this year, Castleford and Huddersfield, teams like that. So I don't think they're going to go there complacent. I think they're going to go there and put a professional show on. I think they'll win, and I think they'll win quite convincingly. And if they do, I think that will, again, cement their top 6 spot.
Yeah, I'm with Moz. I think Salford will go there and get the job. I think they know the importance of the fixture. I think they will deliver a professional performance and earn the 2 points to secure their top 6 position. Yeah, I just look at Hull FC and I just see real concern there. I think they're conceding on average 32 points a game. Their discipline hasn't been great. I think they're the second most penalised team in the competition. They've had the most yellow cards and red cards in the competition. So there's a lot of issues there, as we spoke about. The one thing they do offer is they've got a bit of offload game about them. So that's something that Salford are going to have to contend with well this week. Yeah, they do like to promote the ball with a lot of offload to Hull FC. So that's where they'll cause problems to Salford if they don't get that contact and that tackle management right in stopping offloads. But I think they'll control that well enough and get the job done.
Huddersfield versus Warrington.
I think Warrington, Warrington technically can still finish top of this Super League, can't they? I mean, it's unlikely, but if Wigan or Hull KR do slip up,
I know you used to be their captain, but it's unlikely.
No, they can. I mean, they can. If Lee beat Hull KR, they can potentially finish second, or.
Well, they've got to try and win their last 2 games and get that second spot.
And then see what happens. Yeah, I mean, but I think they're there, and you don't want to go into the playoffs with confidence low, etc. So I think they're going to go there, and I think they're going to get the win, but get a good win. I watched Huddersfield last week, and even though they did win, it was a bit scrappy, and the game was in the balance, until 5 minutes to go against London. So I think Warrington are going to go there, and I think they're going to win well.
I know you're mates with Sam Burgess, but what he's definitely done is brought a bit of steel into that Warrington side, which has been lacking in the last couple of years.
Couldn't agree with you more, Mark. There's a lot more steel, as you say, and grit, and he's brought a lot of pride back to the town. It's been a very indifferent couple of years, so who knows what can happen in the playoffs. So Wembley Cup final appearance, certainly going to be in the playoffs for the Super League. So you got to say it's a very successful year for Sam, and it's not finished yet.
Huddersfield, Warrington.
Yeah, I think Warrington, even though it's Huddersfield have the home advantage, I do feel Warrington will go there and get the job done. I think we've seen some more encouraging signs from Huddersfield of late. They're certainly showing a little bit more competitive spirit, but I still feel there's an element of execution at times that's still a little bit clunky and whatnot. But yeah, perhaps now that Luke Robinson has been announced as the head coach of the Huddersfield Giants for the next 3 years, that might just relax people a little bit, knowing that, hey, this is the man taking us forward, and just, yeah, you might see a little bit of improvement in them, but yeah, I can't see past Warrington this weekend.
Catalans, London.
Wow. Look, I'm going to back Catalans. They're at home. I know that they lost to London away in London in early August, which was a bitterly disappointing performance. The only concern I have for Catalan at the moment is their current form. I think we touched on it earlier in the show. They've won 1 out of their last 6. They're only scoring on average 12 points a game, and they're conceding over 23 points a game. Correct. And they're conceding over 23 points a game. You look at London on the flip side, they've won 2 out of their last 6. They're scoring on average 18 points a game, and they're only conceding just over 20 points a game. So statistically, and then looking at the vein of form, you'd argue that London would go into this game as favourites. However, I do think Catalan have got enough firepower, enough quality, and if they are serious about mounting, a challenge for this playoff race, they need to deliver a good performance.
Yeah, Catalans. I mean, if you look at the Catalans team now, from the one at the start of the year, they're totally unrecognisable, aren't they? So I think they'll think now we need to win the last 2 games, and it's not in their hands anymore. They've just got to win and hope other results go their way. But my concern is, if they look and see, technically we can, but we're not really there. So I hope they don't put the cue in the rack. I'm sure that's not what's going to happen. But London they're playing. They've nothing to lose, have they, London?
Well,
so they're enjoying their Rugby League,
aren't they?
They are. So it's a compelling game. But I just think Catalans are going to win and rack a few points up.
Well, gents, thanks for coming in. Really enjoyed your company. This time next week, we'll be talking about round 27, and we get even closer to the playoffs. What an exciting end to the season. And if you want some championship rugby on Sunday, don't forget, live and exclusive on the Sportsman, we have Wakefield versus York. Wakefield top of the table, York have improved of late. It could be an absolute cracker. So that's live and exclusive on Sunday. Enjoy your Rugby League.